folks. Welcome in all you beautiful people. We are live here in Hamburg at Hilberg College. It is Trainwreck today. Alex Tuck edition number 89. Thank you for tuning in on Trainwreck Sports. Heard of Buffalo. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, anything in between, whether you're in the car, whether you're in the cubicle, whether you're hanging at home. We appreciate you hanging out with us. I'm Maniac Don on the ones and twos. We got producer Rachel in the saddle, making sure she's also mic'd up for better or worse, as they say. We've got the chairman in studio as well to make sure everything's running smoothly, and that includes our guy Slick out on paid vacation in Aruba, making it happen in paradise. And recently, boys, listen, I would love to talk about anything else. I'd love to talk about the Yankees' historic start. I'd love to lead with that. I'd love to talk about the Bravo controversy we have with Amanda Batula and Wes Wilson. But the thing on everyone's lips, the thing on everyone's minds is this Sabres warpath. Ooh,
Sabres on the warpath. Ooh, Sabres on the warpath. Ooh, Sabres on the warpath.
Another win over the Islanders last night. Don, this team just can't stop winning out of the Olympic break. I mean, the Olympic break seems so far away now.
Yeah, I mean, it's we stumbled a little bit, but it's nice to get back on track. This is a win I liked a lot better. I was saying, escaping the Kraken with that shootout win made us feel good, get the confidence up, but wasn't really a great game. This game, I think, we battled. There was momentum back and forth. I really liked our third period, really liked our first period, and I really liked, this was a team that was trying to slow us down. That's what the Islanders do. They're a little more skilled now that they have Schaefer, who looked, I got to say, see him in person. Everything they say about this kid at only 18 years old is true. He looked awesome, especially as not a huge guy playing defense. Still physical, but we didn't let them totally drag us down. A couple moments they tried to turn into a greasy Islanders game, right?
Yeah, they tried to make us play their game.
Yeah, they tried to grease it up a little bit, but the speed prevails, and now we're in the 100 club.
We are in the 100
tied
club.
For ninth.
Unbelievable. All time. I mean, if it ended right now, I mean, you're talking about almost 60 seasons of Sabres history, and you would be talking that this would be a top 10 season if it ended right now. So we still have some games to play. We still have some meat on that bone. But Slick, how's it feel to be in the 100 club on the first day of April? We ain't no fools in this Saberhood.
My goodness, Maniac. It feels like a sick joke, but it's not. It's 15 years in the making. The 100 points is something that I think Mike Bunt touched on. If you said to anyone before the beginning of the season, triple-digit points for this Buffalo Sabres team, you would be thinking it was an April Fool's joke, Maniac, but here we are staring down the barrel with 3-digit points approaching the Dingus Day Massacre. So I'm feeling better than ever coming back to Buffalo in the 100-point club for these Buffalo hockey Sabres.
Oh, my God, dude. I don't know if the sun was hitting you a different way in the pre-show. You're looking red as a tomato. You're looking red as Logan Stanley when he saw the Islanders getting dirty last night.
I'm surprised it took you that long to notice. Aloe vera has been my easy idea. Aloe vera is my new best friend for the next couple weeks, at least.
Your boy AV for sure. Speaking of our boy, yes, Slick with the Aruba collision. That's hilarious. I don't care who you are, Dave. With that said, speaking of our boy, back in the line, back in Buffalo, METSA mania is running wild. They don't have to chant that they wanted Zach METSA. Don, a couple of niche little plays last night, but I felt like it was noticeable that you saw a little bit cleaner things on the defensive end.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about it. Here we go. We got METSA World Peace. The sign makes its debut on his second game back, right?
I want to say second game.
Yeah, because he was back for the Kraken, I believe. Gatesy, check that out. I know you're in the chat.
No, he was gone for the Kraken because they were chanting on METSA.
Oh, okay, okay. First came back.
I'm telling you, it's these games every other day though. Like it's getting to us, dude, right? Like this last month is felt like forever.
Monday it was announced, and that's what you mean is like.
Yeah.
But the game on Tuesday feels like Monday was a week ago.
Yeah.
2 days though. But the METSA mania in full tilt. Paired with Stanley, I talked about on Crossing Swords. I like this pairing. It's like the odd couple, right?
Yeah.
You have 6'6" Stanley is just like a big meaty guy, and then you have Metsa who's 5'9", but like honestly, like plays really smart. I was like really focusing on him when he was on the ice to see what he does, and he kind of plays with his size in a good way, where he doesn't try to do too much, and he's like really elusive. There's a couple times I saw him go into the corner, preparing to take a hit, and kind of just putting it off the boards behind him to another defenseman peeling out. I mean, he really, yeah, I like it. I like what I saw, and him and Stanley really do make this odd pairing that works together. You know, you have the big, you know, enforcer defenseman that can take care of business in front of the net, be a physical force. And then you have Metsa, who just kind of feels like he always does the right thing, makes the right pass, makes the right play, is in the right position, and doesn't have to play, you know, too big. So
yeah, it's almost like a team hell no situation. I feel like Logan Stanley playing the role of Demon Kane, and our guy Metsa playing the role of Daniel Bryan for sure. But one thing is for certain, boys, and that is that Metsa Mania is running wild at Key Bank Center. Don, do we have that for the folks?
Do you want the merch or the
show them
the
both.
Metsa World piece?
Get it all on display for them.
Yeah. I got
the official drop.
We'll drop it. We'll throw this up again. Yep, Metsa World piece. People raging. A lot of good signs taking over. You have that. You have the Samuelson.
The culture is back because you care. The culture is back because you care.
I think when you start to see the signs against the wall in the nosebleeds with your little niche player quirk jokes, that's when you know the warpath is back.
Start making WrestleMania plans,
and
bud.
Folks, yeah, we're announcing it right now. Metsa Mania right now. Yeah, we are collabing with our friend. You want to give him a shout out?
My guy Jeff.
Huge
shout out. Our guy Jeff pointed it out. You cannot wait any longer with Metsa running back into the box score. Metsa Mania is officially running wild. Don, we'll make sure we get the links out. Gatesy, we'll make sure we get the links out.
They're on our Etsy right now. So yeah, Gatesy, if you can clip and post this with the links. These are on sale. Just added to them.
Pretty quick ship, like 2 to 4 days. So there might be a chance of getting this by like next week for a game or something.
Yeah, I mean, certainly if you want to get it before the playoffs, definitely order now. Because I don't know, international stuff, shipping always changes.
Yeah, you don't want to deal with any ridiculous hodgepodge. Yeah. Speaking of which,
out in the world, things are, you can't predict anything these days.
100%. But speaking of which, hodgepodge ridiculousness, you talked about liking the first and third periods from the Sabres last night. I would totally agree. The second period left a little bit lackluster. And I want to start with you. We talked about the refs. They weren't the best. I wouldn't say they were abysmal, but they weren't the best. What did you think about that penalty shot call?
I thought it was a penalty for sure. I didn't think it was a penalty shot. It's normally for a penalty shot, I feel like you got to get taken down to the ice, and he just kind of got hacked a bunch. But my take on the penalty shot is that you need to be on like a clear cut, and you're like coming in directly on the goalie. Like he was kind of coming in from the side and didn't have like a clear advantage. Yeah, it gave me though an interesting thought where because in real time I'm like, well, UPL's been hot. He was great in the shootout the other night. Is this actually, weirdly enough, best case scenario? Because then if we stop them, no power. It's not a 2-minute power play, back to 5-on-5. It's like a roll of the dice. I realized in that moment, but I'm like, it's a high stakes thing. It might be more in the player's favor. But if you have a good goalie, and then I was thinking, I'm like, I wonder if the Islanders could defer. They're like, no, we don't want to. We want the 2 minutes. We don't want a penalty shot, which I don't believe you can. But in real time, I was just like, this is interesting because again, UPL. I've said I like if we had to go to the playoffs about a week ago on the show, I would go with Lion. Stand, by that I said that, but I can also admit when the hand is hot, what we're doing with UPL is working, and he in that moment had me feeling pretty comfortable. Yeah. First time might have been the heirloom gummy, but I was feeling pretty relaxed about that. For sure. We were feeling good as things are going on. So he makes the stop on the penalty shot. UPL has been very good, no doubt about it. Then at the end of the second period,
We get the Norris hit. I didn't think it was like super egregious. I just think it hurts more. Like if Norris had gotten up right away, I don't think we would have gotten half of the reaction we got. But the fact that he was basically like crumpled over for like almost what felt like 20 to 30 seconds, I think that kind of made it a little bit worse in the reaction. I'm curious your thought because the arena had a lot of vitriol in that moment.
People were clamoring for 5 in a game. I don't think so. I think it's a 2-minute boarding though. I mean, boarding is when you hit someone from behind and you use the boards as a weapon. Like you throw them into it. It's not from the side. It's specifically, and that's where like I don't know, in like youth hockey up until like age 18 or whatever, there's a separate call hitting from behind that's like automatic 2 minutes and a 10-minute misconduct, basically to like teach you like when you see numbers, you don't hit a guy. So I mean that's textbook boarding. It's 2 minutes. Now we've seen a ton of times when someone hits someone at the numbers where like they bury them and they meant to hurt them. That was very harmless, kind of just a two-handed like I didn't think it was a major penalty, but it was definitely a penalty. And I think again because he was hurt, everyone was even more upset about that. So
yeah, definitely plays a role. Obviously,
I mean, especially upsetting too with the game Norris was having. He had 2 assists up to that point. I think fans have expected a little more from him as of late and haven't been getting it. So that definitely was crushing blow a little bit with the game he was having. I kind of in disagreement, Don. I feel like you could have given a major penalty there, just specifically for the fact that you said the boarding is classified as using the boards as a weapon and the positioning of where they were in relation to the bench and the end of the glass. It was not completely off the guy's mind who hit Josh Norris. He knew exactly where this hit was being thrown at. And I do get what you mean. He let up a little bit towards the end. I think it could have warranted a 5-minute, however. But, just glad to see the team reaction these days after how far we've come from that Tage hit.
I still get glad every time I see it. Even though they've been doing it for weeks now, even though they've been doing it for months now, I still get excited when I see the fact that they're sticking up for each other. They're battling. That crest loyalty is at an all-time high. Yeah, I think there's definitely an argument to be made that they may be getting a little bit more lax in the way that they officiate Sabres games and that they don't call every little thing on account. That probably around the league, they're just seeing and hearing that there's a lot more hitting. There's a lot more physicality in these games. So if you start calling every little thing, you're going to have everyone in the box. And every little thing could be an issue. Speaking of every little thing, so Don, we get the Norris play at the end of the second period. Seems like they came out of the third period. Came out for the third period. They definitely wanted to send a message because they came out on fire for the first couple minutes. But right off the opening faceoff, Carrick pairs off, fight. People were saying this should have been Stanley. People were saying this should have been Greenway. I'm curious your thoughts on where you land. And again, it's one of those things that everything changes once Carrick hits the ice and he's in pain and there's an obvious issue. I think if he gets up and he's just like revving up the crowd, nobody's saying anything. But I'm curious where you land on this. But yeah, I mean, Greenway and Stanley, there's definitely an argument though they should be our physical horses.
Well, so he fights Lee, who delivered who delivered the hit. I don't know if people know this, but like. If you think back to the New Jersey game when Tage before the game was like, no one fight him, I want him, right?
Yeah.
Like coaches don't they can send out enforcers, but they're not like, you go fight him. Like that's not what it works. That's what
made the Senators Sabres brawl so historic because Lindy literally was just like, all right, Mayor Peters and Coletta.
Well, that actually was their line decision.
They said they went out there.
They said they went out without even Lindy's, and Lindy was just like, and that's Lindy's coach. That's a lot of you're not going to tell someone to maybe you'll send a message, but maybe between periods, Lindy was just like, I didn't like that hit. And guys read behind lines and they're like, all right, yeah, someone's got to answer the bell. But I don't think the players are huddling together. All right, who's going to fight? Maybe Greenway, maybe because I'm playing pretty good. And you're like, that's not how it works. Like he's on the ice. He sees that he's across from the guy that hit him. And that's that. Like you don't know the starting line before periods. You only know before the game. So.
Carrick is just. I use the phrase a couple times, just like a nail gun since he's been here. Like if it's the team needs a goal, a play, if they need a hit, if they need a fight, he's been doing it all. Hate to see him go down. Do we think that he could be done for postseason? Some people were trying to say, like, well, if he has a light separated shoulder, it could be like a couple of weeks and he could be back for the postseason.
Yeah, that's what I think. I don't know. It didn't look, when he got up, it looked like he was more of a like shoulder than like his arm. And when you see it, his arm kind of twists back and he falls on it. I'm thinking it's a popped out shoulder, which is painful. But then as long as there's no tear in the tendon or in the ligament, then you're normally, that's like a few weeks and he could easily be back by game one of the playoffs.
Yeah, if that's the case, for sure. So hopefully nothing broken, no surgery needed, things like that, for sure.
Hopefully that's what I'm hoping for and kind of banking on, looking at it. I'm no doctor, but that's what
he's been feeling himself ever since that first game where he stood up and took a fight.
Yeah,
in his first game in Buffalo, and like you said, Maniac, it feels like anytime this team needs a momentum swing, whether it's a fight, goal, assist, just a huge play in the defensive zone, Sam Carrick has been the guy to do that. I feel like he got a little ahead of himself in this fight position. I would have preferred Greenway or Stanley, obviously, to step up, and you hate to see the injury. Let's just hope he's okay and healthy for playoffs. Like you said, hopefully shoulder light separation is the best case.
You mentioned feeling it. A guy who is apparently feeling it is Mr. Krebs. Not the GWG ultimately, because that goes to the empty netter with the goal being scored with the second left. But a massive play, and the play that people have been looking for, Don, I think you alluded to it in your opening comments from Mr. Alex Tuck. This was a superstar play of me, just to be clear. Like Krebs obviously scores the goal, but it's Tuck who makes the play. The burst into the zone, the wheel around the net, and then just basically a picture-perfect backhand pass right out front. These are just as important as the goals and even the shorthanded ones he occasionally scores. I look for these plays to show like, wow, maybe this is a guy we want to give, 8 figures a year to. But curious where you landed on the kind of the end of everything last night for the game.
Yeah. And in regards to Tuck in that sense, a lot of people are like, well, we would have signed him by now if he was going to be back, or it's too expensive. I'm not sold on that. I think, they're just kind of letting everything simmer as we go into the playoffs. And that's really what it's going to come down to for me, is if veteran leadership. We talked about the infamous Al versus Maniac, Degenerate Al versus Maniac. What was that? What year was that?
2021.
2021.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Where Tuck scores a giant goal.
Massive. Knights are on life support. They lose that, they're not winning game 6.
Yeah. So he's got experience. He knows how to get it done. Last night, no shots, but he had a very good game, killed off penalties, I thought, pretty well, especially after we stopped with the weird Owen Power, Logan Stanley pairing experiment on the first goal.
It was a good experiment. It was a good experiment, but it's over.
Yeah. They can't, at least on the penalty kill, you can't have the two of them on the ice together.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. But that's the elusivity of hockey. That's the thing with Tuck. I don't think sometimes in sports talk we're so obsessed with the stat nature. And I feel like in other sports it's easy. Baseball, you can look at a batting average. Okay, that's how he's doing. If he's a wide receiver in football, well, does he have catches and yards? That's what you're paying him for. If not, it's another thing. As a forward, you can't really say a guy is quote unquote not producing just because he's not getting goals and assists every night. Sometimes it's playing your role, it's being a force, it's setting up other lines for success. And in Tuck's regard, he's been a little absent on the score sheet. Great to have him back. And he makes a beast of a play, like you said, racing to the outside, one hand on the stick, not trying to muscle it to the net. He knows, kind of looks over his shoulder before he goes around the net, sees a trailer, and Krebs sneaks right back in and makes a statement of his own that he belongs on this first line. That's the thing, is if Tuck gets 1 assist or less a game, but we have Tage and Krebs scoring on his line, I'm not really worried. You're not always going to have all 3 guys scoring on every shift. Sometimes, again, it's just being a presence out there.
For certain.
I really think, sorry, Maniac. I really think Tage and Alex Tuck do bring the best out of Peyton Krebs. Hall of Fame level play and assist there by Alex Tuck. Pay that man. The hockey awareness through the roof. What a pass.
Yeah, most definitely. And so Sabres fans feeling great memories as they left KeyBank Center last night. Speaking of memories, a huge shout out to one of our newest sponsors, Total Sports Buffalo. Total Sports Buffalo, the best memorabilia in the biz. Memories of fanhood. And we're just kind of going through some thoughts, Don. Obviously, this has been a historic run for the Sabres. One of the best stretches in team history. No doubt the best stretch in basically 15 years for this team. So if you could have a souvenir or a piece of memorabilia from last night, we were talking about some ideas for the game. The panel of ice that was broken, a Delta Sonic ice team jersey.
Yeah, well, they see in football they'll sell the pylons.
Yes.
Sometimes they even sell a square of turf or something. So what I want is, I don't know. You probably didn't see this if you were watching on TV, but right before the second period started, they had to replace a pane of glass right behind UPL. We were talking. This used to take 20 plus minutes. They had it done right at the buzzer to start the period. So I want not only the piece of glass, but it's signed by every member of the ice crew. What do we call those guys? They handle the show.
I think the Delta Sonic ice team. I mean, credit to their branding for sure.
It's a tough name right now, but
that's we'll see how it goes. But a great branding. METSA World Peace, maybe that sign. Obviously, like a lot of people have gotten excitement out of that. You got the mayor's office, like people have done that in the past. Josh Norris blood I put on here. Let's face it, if we're gonna bleed our blood, nobody gets to keep it. Okay, nobody else gets to take it home. That's gonna be our Josh Norris blood. And last but not least, I don't know if you saw this on the scoreboard. Courtney Corbetta's glammed out hat last night. Yeah, it was outstanding.
I saw that. Even
I didn't see that in the
even Cammie Clune, she's got the glammed out jersey too.
Seriously.
I'm like, I think we need one of those. Josh Norris's blood. I mean, you could pull the what's her name? She dated Billy Bob Thornton, kept blood around her neck. Angelina Jolie, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You could do that. Throw his blood in a vial, wear it as a necklace.
You never know.
Kind of weird, but hey, we don't judge. We don't
collect.
judge. We don't judge fandom. And if you're a fanatic,
passion.
Yeah. TSE, they got everything if you're a crazy fanatic.
I mean, a quick note here from our friends there. Right now we have a $40 puck sale for the Sabres. We have a Zach Benson blue mini helmet sale going on, as well as sales from the movie Sandlot. We got jerseys and more there. Go to tsebuffalo.com. Speaking of going, Joe Brady and co went to the owners' meetings this past week. Don, there was a lot of fallout. I don't know if you saw all these little snippets. It was really much ado about nothing, but did you see the little snippets? Did you see the Vrabel bullying? Did you see the, Joe Brady, the picture? He was kind of like towering over the people in Israel. I thought he was looking pretty beastly. I'm curious if you caught any of that or if it just went by in the wavelength of everything Lindy that we've been doing.
Yeah, I mean, coaches, especially in the NFL, come in all shapes and sizes. You have Sirianni's who, look like who's trying to run on the field with players, same with McVay. And then you got the Andy Reids and you got everything in between. So it's nice to see, though, that our guy is a little fit, being a little taller. Not everyone can get alphaed by this, but some people, they'll just fall in the line. So I'm hoping our coach is going to take that energy, put on the field. Mike Vrabel, I mean, he just seems like I don't know. He
a douchebag. Vrabel seems like just a big douchebag.
Yeah, where he's like, if you're on his team and you
love him,
like, well, that you might love him, but you might be like it's kind of like Tage with Benson being like he's the stupidest fucking guy I ever know. Like it's like that with Vrabel, where if he's on your team, you love him, but you're like, geez, he's kind of a meathead. So
yes,
yeah.
Did you see the day drinking event?
That's what I was about to bring up.
Okay, please talk to me.
I'm most worried about. I haven't heard anything. I was trying to look for a Brady update. Like, yeah, looking good, being in the picture's fine. I'm just hoping he's holding his own in the day drinking.
He needs to hold his own.
I hope he's at least in the top 30% of beers drank, and is kind of commanding that room and flexing there, because there's one thing Buffalo knows to do between the Bills Mafia of it all, and now not just the Sabres hood, but the Sabres themselves drinking beer. Alex Lyon, I saw on a podcast, he said, they're like, so what's with the beer drinking? He's like, honestly, ever since Rasmus said that, now we're doing it more.
Yeah.
Like, it's become a
how
bit.
many beers are you drinking? More since we decided everyone was cool with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I hope Joe Brady's taking a note too. I'm wondering if like we're gonna see some Bills players cracking some in some post games this fall. Like yeah. And that seems like everything's. I know we're going to get into some Dion comments, but he kind of talked about how Joe Brady, they can be a little more loose, and what he call like McDermott is a lot more military-esque. So, yeah.
Wasn't there an undisclosed comment that said like buttholes were a lot tighter around like McDermott? Wasn't that like an unnamed player?
Yeah, it was an anonymous player said that. Like,
I mean, let's face it, nobody wants that, okay? You want everyone loose. You want everyone feeling good. Slick, I know you're watching from afar in Paradise. What did you think of Joe Brady's performance in Paradise from what you've seen?
Not too shabby. Obviously, it was a little more interested in what Bean had to say. We were monitoring the situation on Monday. But, it's good to see all these Bills updates and such back on the forefront. Joe Brady, obviously, at the helm in the spotlight. A lot of eyes are going to be on him this upcoming season. I thought he held his own, did just fine. Like Don said, hope he's just keeping up in day drinking with everything going on.
So the Bean thing too, I saw a pretty good like repost meme of someone being like, your GM's off studying the draft. This. My GM's on Pat McAfee chopping it up, which it seems like, I don't know, ever since last year, they're like he's enjoying going on that. I'm wondering what are the chances if Bean has a great draft, great year, really dunks, we could get him to wear, because we know he has one of the quit bitching shirts on Pat McAfee.
I think it's Lombardi. When we get a Lombardi, it's unlocked. It'll be worn to like the grocery store. It'll be worn to your child's school play. It'll be worn to church mass on Sunday. It'll be everything. It'll be culture by them, but it's not before that. He learned his lesson. Like you said, it started last year. He got a little hot. The engines, the rockets got a little hot, okay? And sometimes the rockets get a little too hot. You can't have that, okay? You got to cool down, okay?
Feel on yourself. It's all good.
I'm not gonna dox the airline, but we saw actually very recently when the engine gets too hot, sometimes it just bursts into flames and you need an emergency landing. That's what Brady Bean found here. If he wears a quit bitchin' shirt, fresh off a Lombardi for the parade, I might get quit bitchin' with his face tattooed on my body somewhere.
On your face?
Not on my face. We're not doing
Why
that.
not on your face?
I know I'm in the entertainment biz, but
get the Brandon Bean face tattooed on your face.
Yeah, that could be like a Takashi situation, like how he did the saw on his cheek.
Yes. Speaking of this, hope nobody's becoming an April Fool out there. Thank you for tuning in today, April 1st. Trainwreck today. Herd of Buffalo. Trainwreck Sports live here from Hilbert College. A couple of, like I said, there were some little notes from this past week. First, DION Dawkins on the Neon stream. What did you guys take away from this? I thought it was really much ado about nothing. Dion's getting a little too joking around, though. It was a little too much. Even listen, everyone loves a little sugar. Everyone loves too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. A little too much joking here.
I know April Fool's was right around the corner, but I don't think he was he's trying to do too much of his joking self. Where Maniac, it felt like he was trying to keep some form of kayfabe while telling this joke, where the normal Dion would have said it with a smile and some laughter about the conversation. He looked dead serious when he said this about Bills fans chopping into him and being willing to take that before quickly backtracking in a also serious tone. I think that was a little bit of a heat check with how Dion goes about his humor. Obviously, he's feeding into it a little more. He saw the uproar with the fans. We have Don, I think it's in the rundown, the post that Dion himself puts out today, fresh off the backlash.
Yeah, that was just he definitely doubled down. It's definitely I don't care what you're thinking, So I would just say sometimes you did you're talking to someone who they make people laugh. I can't wait to tell another joke, or I can't wait to try and make people laugh. And then when it goes silent, you just got to be quiet sometimes. You just got to, retreat a little bit. I think doubling down here was definitely the wrong call. By the way, using like official like NFL stuff, I don't know. That's a little crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was like, oh, it's a perfect April Fool's joke. I will say about I saw the full clip with not taken out of context. First of all, too, people are missing a lot. He was asked like for double of your salary.
Yes, crucial.
I gotta say, like, think about double. I wouldn't hold it against any player going anywhere. You'd go
to Bilton.
What do you mean?
I would go to Bilton. I would go to Bilton for double Dion's salary in Miami in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
Slick's like, I'd go to Bilton for a 10% boost.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. People think we're talking like $2 million extra. Like,
no. I mean, what are we talking about? We're talking about 13 million, 15 million
money.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not just me being like pandering to players to get access. Talking about the fan thing, I feel like one or two, or maybe online, someone tweeted at him and they said something stupid, and he's just kind of like using it, to I don't know, take the power back a little bit, maybe, and be like, hey, I'm not, you might all love me, I might be the snowman, I might have the key to the city, but I'm still the man in this room. And like Slick said, kind of. Building some heat, keeping some kayfabe.
I also don't think Neon, like, his reactions are everything.
He's an idiot. I don't know why this guy is like, this guy is like Captain Ferdinand if you like gave him like 6 beers and then a pack of like Fun Dip. This guy's clueless. Why do people love this Neon guy so much?
Is he the one that got Puka to say?
He did that. He's the one who, like, his girlfriend cheated on him, and like he kept the story going for like months, didn't he? Like where like there's just like weird stuff. So like I don't know. Like again, what these kids these days are into, have at it. But I don't know what we're doing with the Neon. What's always been a tale as old as time is boxing. Boxing being entertaining. And Slick, you've got some inside info on this?
Yeah, so my guy, Ty Johnson, has been training some boxing and MMA lately, as well as his brother, Ike. Ike, love ya. I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name for the first time live on Trainwreck today. Different last name to Mr. Johnson, obviously. Ike has been calling for a contract to be signed for, I don't know if this is light sparring, if this is a boxing match, MMA. All I know is we have MMA training from both of these guys, and we may have something being put into motion in the near future, and Trainwreck Sports just may be the boxing promotion for this fight.
Brother versus brother? You cut out there in Aruba for a second.
Yep, brother versus brother, a tale as old as time. It's like Logan Paul and Jake Paul stepping in a WWE or maybe even a boxing ring.
Why talk about those bozos when you can talk about Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy at Mania? This is a Mania-based show. For sure, we're on the road to Mania right now.
The first ever murder, going way back in time. It's always
insane. But speaking of going back in time, Buffalo football fans probably think they're going back in time hearing this was a snippet of substance that came out of the Owners' Week. Coach Joe Brady talking about a potential workload management for tight end and pass-catching weapon Dalton Kincaid. So let's check in with our friends on the forecast, sponsored by William Matar Law Offices. Let's really work the 4 into this one, because obviously Kincaid's 5th-year option gets picked up. I think right now, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, I think that virtually no matter what happens this year, Dalton Kincaid finds his way back to the Bills after this rookie deal expires this year.
Yeah, I mean, when he's in the game, he's awesome. We were saying last year, like, he might be our best receiver as a tight end. The problem is, he's a little brittle. We just can't get a full season out of him, or even like a full couple weeks. And maybe, I'm not saying that it's all on him. That's just maybe been some bad luck transitioning to the NFL. But that's really the only concern, I think, in anyone's mind when you're talking about, re-signing him is the injury proneness of it all.
So for today's forecast, So this being the 2026 season, 4 years from now, will Dalton Kincaid be a Buffalo Bill entering the 2029 season? On this forecast, this will be a good one for the time capsule.
Yeah.
I lean yes. I seem to think like I don't know. I just feel like Joe Brady comfortable with the way they use him. Great weapon in this offense. 2029 season. I feel like after this year he could re-sign like a 4 to 5 year deal, although it'll probably be likely 3 to 4. But I think 2029 season, Dalton Kincaid is a Buffalo Bill.
Slick, you wanna take this one?
Yeah, sure. I think you made some great points, Don. I wouldn't have used the word brittle maybe in case Dalton's watching, but nonetheless, I think if you get a full healthy season out of Dalton Kincaid next year, especially after picking up this option, Brandon Beane, and also it all comes down to winning, right? If we have a very successful season, maybe even AFC Championship, Dalton Kincaid plays a full healthy season, I think we could get him back on maybe a 2 to 3. But if he plays another full healthy season at the rate that he plays already when he's missing games, people are going to want to pay that man a very big bag. I don't know if after next season he would negotiate something in the range of 4 to 5 years with the Bills. I think there would be stuff out there, obviously, to set him up generationally. And if winning's a priority, obviously that comes down to it. But 4 years, I am going to say no. Dalton Kincaid takes a larger AVV offer and will go elsewhere 4 years from now. Not be a Buffalo Bill.
So the interesting thing I think about this is I think the biggest factor in determining if he'll be here 4 years from now isn't even his on the field play. Really, I think it's going to be the success of this Bills team, right? Because if in 2-3 years,
like said, if they win and they're staying together,
if we don't make it to a Super Bowl, this team might get imploded in 3 years. Like before, like his contract ends, where they're kind of start like that.
It's
sounds
kind of like
crazy.
Maniac has been saying too with Joe Brady. Like Joe Brady has probably 2 years to figure this the fuck out.
That's what I mean. Is if the Joe Brady experiment goes sideways and the Bean of it all too, he doesn't make a good comeback. Like I don't think he's getting resigned. That being said, I believe in Josh Allen. I believe in what we have, and I do think we're going to make it to a Super Bowl within 3 years, which will have him staying here.
Okay, I like that. That's the forecast for Dalton Kincaid and his future as a Buffalo Bill, brought to by our friends at William Mattar Law Offices. Rolling on the second half of Trainwreck today on our Hump Day edition, April 1st. We have a historic Yankees pitching start to the season. You've seen this? They've been dealing. Max Fried was 7 scoreless again last night.
Yeah, I know. We brought up the Yankees. I said, last or Monday, I'm like, this Dodgers team is kind of scary. I was looking at them, and then it's like the Yankees heard that and said, not so fast. Have belief in the this pitching, because what happens? Dodgers lose their next game, and Yankees are just looking clean. And well, listen, we've had Judge has always been great. He's been great for years. But the concern is always with him. Can he come through in the big moments? But it's also been, can the pitching come through in the big moments? And if we get this kind of pitching come October, I mean.
Yeah, it'll be a no-brainer. Schlittler back on the mound tonight for the Bronx Bombers in the hardwood. It's like a whole bunch of crazy stuff going on. I thought Luka dropping 40 again was going to be in the top headline, but Anthony Edwards, as always, finding a way to steal the show.
Yeah, this guy just showing yet again, day in, day out, why he's the next face of the NBA once lay face of NBA retires. But not in this guy's eyes, whoever had this parlay locked in. I think it was a Barstool guy, but yeah, Anthony Edwards sitting on the dunny, no Donovan Holden intended, cost this guy quite a big bag, it would seem. I'm not really sure what the odds are on this. I think he had like 4 or 5 different players to score a certain amount in the first 3 minutes, Maniac?
Yes, it looked like a certain amount to score, yes.
Yeah, so
and then, a shitty turnout for this parlay.
Yeah, that's rough. I mean, you got to be taking care of this before into the arena.
Why didn't the coach use a first half timeout? Aren't those like basically worthless?
Well, maybe he was just like, whatever, I'm not going to call a timeout just so Anthony Edwards could play the first 3 minutes. He might have gone out there at minute 5, for example. Like, that sucks. I don't know, man. Like, gotta get your body a little more regulated. I don't know if like right as an athlete, like I don't want to talk too much about this, but I feel like a lot of people, you kind of got a schedule that you abide to.
It's crazy.
So, I don't know if he ate something questionable before that.
I think modern athletes are like they regulate and work out and are like have better physical regimens than ever. But then you also have like your DK Metcalfs who eat like endless candy and stuff like that. So I would be very interested to see Anthony Edwards' dietary standards, especially on a game day. Speaking of standards, select Rachel Nichols on some of Luka's standards.
Yeah, just showing yet again why actually probably not why she was taken off programs in the first place, but showing questionable ball knowledge, saying Luka needs to play both sides of the ball if he wants to see an MVP award this season. Yet Luka is leading all MVP candidates of the NBA in steals per game. And Don did say this earlier, by sport, you got to look at certain things when you look at stats, right? Because yes, he leads all these MVP candidates in steals per game. Luka is not notorious for being one of the best defenders, lockdown defenders in the NBA. So the stat could be a bit misleading. I do think it was misleading of Rachel Nichols to say this. However, I think Luka deserves the MVP a hell of a lot more than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, along with the likes of Jaylen Brown and Victor Wembanyama. So just kind of an ignorant statement here, but not the first that we've seen out of a talking head on the national stage.
True, it happens, especially in the ball sphere for sure. But yeah, Luka goes nuts last night. That wraps it up on the hardwood. We talked baseball already. I don't know if you guys saw this. Megan Thee Stallion needed to be hospitalized during a show last night. You saw? I don't know what's going on. Obviously, listen, we respect our Stallion on this show, so we're wishing her a quick, speedy recovery. Listen, you get to go to the hospital. That's no joke for sure. So I hope all is well there. As we're rolling on this April 1st, just a reminder, folks, we are no April Fools. We know that the best pizza in Western New York is Picasso's Pizza, our new official pizza sponsor here on Trainwreck today. Get that magic dust, folks. Go to picassospizza.net for the best deals on the best pizza in Western New York. Speaking of products in Western New York, I just saw this picture. It's like, did you put this on there with Captain and the Trough?
Yes, I did. This just came across my feed. I don't know where this was shipped to. It appears Captain Ferdinand is in the presence of a trough from One Bills Drive, the old Highmark Stadium. I don't know if this was a Barstool purchase.
Send him to the stadium to secure it? I started thinking.
There's no way.
I feel like Big Cat would have just posted it if it was in the Chicago office or something.
Well, maybe he's not there and it just came in or something. That does sound like a Big Cat move, sending Captain Ferdinand all the way back to his roots of Western New York.
No, there's a picture of Big Cat with it.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah. I didn't see that.
I think they got it shipped there. Yeah.
So if this is for the office, like this is a big time synergy move at Barstool. I'm sorry. Like bringing in the trough from Highmark Stadium. What more bonding could you ask for than being like shoulder to shoulder with your coworkers at the trough?
Seriously, a trough being in the office is next level for certain. Speaking of
two seats too.
Yeah. Wait, where?
There you go. He's got two seats.
Oh, he got two seats. Okay, he's got it all there. Two seats. Love that. Just looking at April Fool's Day. Some lame April Fool's attempts out there. Did you check out on the Joe Brady snow pants of it all, Slick?
I mean, I'm all the way through to the checkout. I'm really debating pressing and seeing if they'll let me check out for these fleece shorts for $155. If they do, or like that's not a refundable purchase. Very bad PR April Fool's move on the Bills' part. I tend to lean your way that it's a joke. And once you go to hit like the Apple Pay double tap or something, they'll be like, you dumbass. Like you actually were going to buy these snow shorts for $155.
Maybe it started as an April Fool's and they're like, wow, like people are definitely like crazy enough to buy these.
That's why I lean like Because the Bills put something on their store, people are going to buy it. I don't care if it's an April Fool's joke. And if these numbers start ticking as soon as it goes up, they have no reason or motivation to take this down. I guarantee there's already been 5 purchases of these fleece snow shorts.
Okay. All right, folks, as we're rolling along into the bottom of the 12 o'clock hour here on Trainwreck today, it is time for Buy or Sell, sponsored by Victory Smoke. Premium cannabis pre-rolls for everyday wins. Coming soon to local dispensaries. Taste victory. So listen, we've gotten a little bit taste of warmer weather. We had some on Monday before things got a little gray here in the middle of the week. So let's buy or sell. I'm going to give you guys a prompt on whether you're buying that'll happen or selling that it won't. Has spring sprung? We are with Victory Smokes. Are you boys ready?
I'm ready.
All right, buy or sell over 76.5 degrees before the end of the month. It's not happening on the 10-day, but do we think we can get to 77 degrees before the end of April?
I'm going to sell that.
I'm going to sell too. I'm going under 69 degrees in the month of April.
Geez, not a very nice prediction from you there. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. Well, what about taking a stand on your own? Buy or sell, will you wear shorts outside in the next 2 weeks in Western New York?
Well, I have to say this first of all, and you guys know this about me. Even in the summer, I'm a pants guy.
You are a pants man.
It's pretty rare I'm wearing shorts unless I'm like running around doing some physical activity. If I'm just chilling, normally I'm rocking some jeans. So I'm going to sell that. You won't see me in shorts until probably at least June. And normally that's just around my house.
That's fine, Don. You're a team player. You know what Tage says pregame. He's got his big boy pants on. You always got your big boy pants on. I am going to buy because if anyone's been on Instagram the past couple days, it doesn't take much to get me outside and in some nice short clothing that acclimated to the weather. If you saw on Instagram, I was outside on the Sports City freshly opened patio in 45-degree weather in a T-shirt. Just add 5 more degrees and I'll shorten up the pants into some shorts. I'm absolutely buying that I will be in shorts in the next 2 weeks.
All right, we'll see where you're cashing in on this one. It was obviously a full weekend for St. Patrick's Day, but are you buying that Dingus Day this Monday could outperform St. Patrick's Sunday where we were? We had a front row seat. Are you buying or selling that, Don?
Oh, I'm buying that. Sabres game that night, contributing to it. There might be some people that just take off the whole day and start it off at like 11 a.m. Like a tailgate. I'm buying. I think it's going to be crazy. I'm sad I won't be there, but you guys are going to have to shoot a good vlog for me.
You're going to take the battle to Tampa.
Yeah.
I am going to buy, based on what I saw last year, the fact that Dingus Day is on a Monday and it was pouring rain last year and still rivaled St. Patrick's Day last year, which this year I thought was frankly a little pathetic until the afternoon hours. I think Dingus Day is going to swamp the St. Patrick's Day turnout. These Polacks don't play around. There will be squirt guns and pussy willows galore going into that lightning match.
Wow. Yeah, I love it. I'm interested what the weather is going to be like for that, speaking of all of this. So
should be interesting. We'll see. Producer Rachel wondering as well, crossing her fingers we get a sunny Dingus Day. I don't know if it's like frozen in the ice over there, what we got going on, but Don, Banditos are up into the top half of the NLL standings, likely to have a home game in the quarterfinals if they make the playoffs. So buy or sell over 2.5 home games for the Banditos. That would mean they have to at least make the finals.
I'm going to buy. There's no way I can sell this team. Can't ever sell them out. That's what they taught us. They're like, hey, you think we're coming back to earth? This is a down year. They come out, go on a huge win streak, take down the top team in the league twice since then. Is he still frozen?
No, he's not frozen, but he brought himself back in and he's like, yeah, Don, great talking.
Yeah.
Boys.
Yeah, so and then
it's the hackers, guys.
So early Dingus Day preview. We got high of 42. Low of 32, mostly cloudy, 19% chance of precipitation with 15-mile-per-hour winds. So get ready to anchor yourselves and hopefully not blow away. But hey, we still got time. Things change. They're wrong a lot of the time.
They're wrong a lot of the time.
Maniac will be on that fire truck regardless.
Over 2.5 home playoff games for our Banditos. Buy or sell?
This one's tough, but I am going to buy. I think the momentum just keeps coming. I think they're going to keep winning. Obviously, it's tough with the NLL playoff format. You get that single elimination first round game.
Uh-oh. Okay. The Aruba Wi-Fi is
The Aruba collision got him. So let's finish out strong. Just like it's what Slick would have wanted. So this last one on buy or sell, Don.
Oh, okay. We have one more.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Sabres winning over 6.5 playoff games. Save the best for last. So we talked about that the expectation now might be that you need to win 2 playoff series, given what they've done in the regular season. That would mean 8 wins.
I'm going to buy, and it's largely determinant on us finishing first in the division, which I do think we're going to do based on the schedule we have left and the fact that we get to face our number 1 competitor for that spot. So we win the division, and then we win the first round. And that means we at least take second round to game 7, right?
Yeah.
So minimum, if not winning that one. So yeah, I'm going to buy that one.
Okay. Buying. I'm buying as well. I think the Sabres are going to put together a little run. I might be starting to believe over here. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I do believe we're on the stretch run of the show. Obviously, folks, like we mentioned, check out all the new merch as well as METSA Mania. We are looking at putting something together for potentially a drought-ending night tomorrow, as the Sabres will have a chance to turn their magic number to 0 and clinch a playoff berth for the first time in a decade and a half. Dreamboat.
Yes, we will be in. I can say it right. We don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
but we will be at Sports City.
Yes,
we will be there. Now, are we just going to be hanging out, vibing, buying beers with the boys? Are we going to do a pre-show? Are there going to be giveaways? You got to stay tuned. You got to stay tuned for certain folks. Yeah, a lot on the second half of the week, but we're not ending the show without checking in with the Trainwreck Sports Crash Out Line, sponsored by William Mattard Law Offices. Don, I anticipate, again, not a lot to crash out with. I do have a little bit of my own, though, if the floor is open. Well, yeah, we're here for you at the Crash Out Line. Let it loose.
Don, the underdog story, the protagonist, it's who you're always rooting for. I mentioned on Monday, Amanda Batula and Wes Wilson. Amanda Batula coming off of the separation, the divorce from Mr. Sendick, Kyle Cook, DJ out till 4 a.m. We were rooting for you in your new hot girl summer, first year on the market. We were rooting for you, Amanda Batula. Wes Wilson, you've been stumbling and bumbling since day one. You've been misstepping and high-stepping in every wrong direction since you've been on our screens, and yet we're still rooting for you somehow. And you two turn your back on it all because you're friends who have been for each other at certain times. What are we doing here? This has got me crashed out left and right. It's not right. It's absolutely wrong. Amanda Batula and Wes Wilson, shame on you.
Damn.
Don't send it.
Okay. Yeah.
You got me rooting for Kyle Cook over here.
I mean, yeah, that's brutal. That's a new low.
A new low, for sure.
Well,
hoping for a lot of high points this coming weekend. Obviously, we'll have Banditos in action. We've got Sabres with a chance to clinch tomorrow, and hopefully nicer weather on the horizon as spring looks to sprung, Don.
Yeah, and just checking in with everyone on Instagram. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We got JFab16 saying, my favorite boys.
There you go, JFab. Thank you. You're my favorite boy.
Favorite men, maybe?
There you go.
Someday we'll be there.
I'm not a girl yet, not a woman.
Merman.
Yes.
And then we have Chris Farrar, our good friend.
Derek.
What up, boys? Slick out in
that's
Florida.
Our man right there.
Slick out in Florida. Nope, Aruba.
Yes, absolutely. So, folks, wherever you are, thank you for enjoying Trainwreck today. Brought to you by Herd of Buffalo. Trainwreck Sports live here from Hillsborough College. We got Nick just popped into the studio as well. We've got the chairman. Make sure it looks like we did okay for this episode. Producer Rachel made sure it all happened. She also didn't get attacked for her 4th consecutive episode.
Clock in. How'd the show go, Rachel?
I would say a 10 out of 10, you know?
No, don't say a 10 out of 10. I heard an exhale over there. It's like a 9.7 out of 10 at best.
I love that we're keeping count of, you know, how long it's been since I got attacked by the monitor.
Yeah, we do have to put a sign like it's been 13
0
shows
days since the equipment attacked Rachel. I mean, a true where were you moment in Trainwreck Today Pantheon history. But we hope you'll stay with us for a very long history. Trainwreck Today 89, winding it down. Huge shout out to Slick for joining us from Aruba as well. Don on the 1s and 2s for making it happen, and you for obviously making it happen and tuning in. So huge shout out to you. Let's have a great second half of our week, and there's only one way you could start that, Don, and that's by having a good day now.